Okay, so I'm like 4 days in a wake up out now from my 20-mile hike along the Appalachian Trail that I have planned for the 3rd of July to the 5th of July. It's going to start at the Appalachian Trail junction with Caribou Pond Road up by Sugarloaf, USA ski area, and it's going to take me from there 20 miles south along the AT, encompassing 6 different summits, and eventually winding up with the trailhead at Highway 4 in Maine. 20 miles isn't really a long hike by necessarily any stretch. I can probably do that in a day and a half to 2 days alone, but I think it's important that a hike of this type of distance, you leave yourself a little extra time. You never know what type of weather you're going to run into. For example, the mountains weather it's really hard to predict, and it's ever changing, so you can find yourself with a forecast that provides you with a beautiful weekend and find yourself in the middle of a torrential downpour or lightning storm somewhere out in the mountains. So again, it's not necessarily a really long hike, but it is going to take me through some pretty remote stretches of Maine wilderness. And as such, it's really important that I make sure that I have everything in this pack that I need, because there's not going to be any 7-Elevens along the way. There's not going to be any Cumberland Farms or anything like that where I can stop and, oh shoot, you know, I forgot my batteries, or I forgot extra food and whatever. So it's really important that I make sure I have everything in the pack that I need, and that typically involves a ritual with me of packing what I think I want to carry, unpacking, trying to trim weight, trying to trim bulk, and I go through this ritual 5, 6, 7 times before a hike. And pretty much this is right here the final version of what I think I'm going to have to carry in my kit. Believe everything in here is what I'm going to need. There are a couple things that I still have to add to this. One is I need to make sure I have batteries, spare batteries for all my electronic components, my GPS, two-way radio, headlamp, spare flashlight, those sorts of things. So I haven't gotten that yet. I have the food in my pack pretty well worked out, everything that I need, but I probably will stop at some 7-Eleven or something like that along the way and throw in a fistful of granola bars, maybe a couple packages of honey roasted peanuts, a couple high energy foods like that, maybe some Snickers bars, something of that nature. But anyway, I weighed the pack up with what I have in it, and right now the pack weight is 43 pounds. This is my Eastern Mountain Sport Summit 5,000 cubic inch internal frame backpack. I actually own several different types of backpacks, and they all have their different purposes. This type of pack that I'm carrying here, and the kit, if you will, or the items that I'm carrying in this pack, are more designed for getting from point A to point B, or a travel through the wilderness. So its design is based mostly around weight. Well, I suppose all packs are in some sense, but it's designed on weight and speed, and the foods in this pack and things like that are designed for quick preparation, and again, everything is designed upon weight and speed to get me from point A to point B as fast as I can go with as little as I can possibly carry on my pack, on my back. So 43 pounds. This is not a type of pack that I would carry if I were going into the wilderness, for example, to spend an extended period of time in some of the remoter places of the wilderness. It'd be a whole different kit mentality behind that. But anyway, we're probably going to take this pack off and go through the different contents of the pack and take a look at what I'm carrying. I think it's also important that if you are going alone hiking in the wilderness, keeping a list of everything you have in your pack and giving that list along with your hiking plan to a third party that's not going in case you run into an emergency. These are all important bits of information for rescuers or search parties. They'll have a better understanding of, you know, how well you're going to be set for yourself in the wilderness based on, you know, a list like that. Well, he's got so much food, he's got so much water. So I'm going to go over that, and I'm going to dig out my maps and going to do a little bit of map reading, land navigation stuff, to show you how to plot some grid coordinates, or how I plot my grid coordinates. That way I can enter coordinates into my GPS, points of interest, stuff like that. They're nice to have along the way, give you an idea of how far you've traveled to a certain point, how much farther you have left to travel. I almost forgot. As I was saying, the pack is about 43 pounds. Probably the single heaviest item in the pack is my water bladder, which I have attached to the outside right here, my Camelback water bladder. It's got 3 liters of water in it, so right now it's right around 7 pounds. The rest of the weight is probably going to come in the form of my food and my sleeping bag, and then my clothing and my shelter. So anyway, 7 pounds of water, 3 liters of water is really more than I'm going to need to carry. I probably would only fill this water bladder up past 2 liters once I get up onto the ridge, and I know there can be long distances between water sources once you're up above 3,000 feet and out of the ravines and that sort of thing. So anyway, again, Eastern Mountain Sport 5,000 cubic inch backpack, and go through the contents of that and see what I got in.